Everyone, this is your daily weather hazard briefing from the National Weather Service office here in Pocatello, Idaho for Thursday, December 26th. Our active pattern is continuing. We have some snow out there falling early this morning. That is going to continue through the morning hours with some more showery activity and a little bit of rain mixing in as we get into this afternoon. But overall, this is going to continue for the next several days, basically through the weekend, and start to kind of taper off as we get into Monday, but we'll still see some light snow there too. We have gone ahead, we've got some winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories out. We'll go ahead and talk about those in a couple of graphics. Again, this is kind of daily on and off rain and snow showers. We are going to see some breezy winds at times, but the strongest winds look like they'll be arriving probably Sunday night into early Monday morning. We'll get into those a little bit too, kind of a first look at those. I know we're still several days out from that, but generally above normal temperatures are going to be continuing through this time period too, so that's why we will see some rain mixing in with the snow at times as our temperatures warm to above freezing each afternoon basically. Alright, so here's a look at satellite early this morning. Good look at the Pacific Northwest. You can see that low just kind of moving on shore now. Fairly tight spiral there, but lots of moisture headed our way. Again, this is just kind of the beginning of some of this here. As we'll see this kind of atmospheric river event unfold and continue basically through the weekend. Here's a look at radar early this morning. This is current as of about 5 a.m., so depending on when you're watching, this could be old by that point, but not all this making it to the ground right now, but we are seeing some light snow being reported at Sun Valley and at Burley, so it's just kind of a matter of time for the rest of us. So keep that in mind. That will impact some of that morning commute too. Alright, our weather risk outlook grid for the next several days, well, it's there's a lot going on. We've got rain and snow, like we mentioned, pretty much on and off for the next several days. We add in a little bit of wind here and there. Probably the worst of that, like I mentioned, late Sunday night into very early Monday morning. We'll talk about that here in just a bit. Here's where you can see those current warnings and advisories, the winter storm warnings in that kind of hot pink color, and the winter weather advisories in the purple color. So products out for most of our zones. Even where we don't have products, from Chalice to Arco, still looking at probably 1 to 3 inches of snow by the time we get through today and through tomorrow. So keep in mind, this is a little bit more than a 24-hour period. This is kind of for the rest of the day into tomorrow morning that these advisories and warnings will continue through. We'll show the snow totals here in just a minute, but I wanted to show you the temperatures to show you that we will be warming to just above freezing for parts of the eastern Magic Valley, a lower Snake River plain as we get into this afternoon. So again, we'll see a bit of rain mixing in at times, and with some of the more showery activity this afternoon, kind of a rain-snow mix for some of us. But of course, the higher elevation's going to stay kind of right at freezing or below it through most of this, so expecting some decent snowfall up in the mountains. Wind gusts today, we are picking up a little bit, seeing some gusts early this morning, about 35 miles per hour. We're getting a little bit of that downslope wind into Pocatello here right now. But we'll kind of see generally 25 to 30, some 35 mile per hour wind gusts today. Pretty similar as we get into tomorrow, temperature-wise and wind-wise. Some of those, 30 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe a little bit more widespread tomorrow. But here's a look at some of those snow totals. Again, that's basically from this morning into kind of Friday afternoon, evening time frame there. For most of us down here in the lower elevations, we're probably looking at a couple of inches of snow, anywhere from kind of that 2 to 3, maybe 4-inch range. Seems pretty typical for most of us. A little farther west that you go, again, where temperatures will be just a little bit warmer, snow totals could be lighter, and again, some of that will kind of melt as we get into the afternoon too, so that always makes measuring a little bit trickier. Of course, the higher elevations where we have those winter storm warnings, plenty of snow expected up that way. Areas like Stanley, anywhere from basically 8 to 12 inches of snow. Same for Island Park. Driggs about 4 to 6. You get closer to Galena, that you're talking maybe a foot of snow, a little bit more than that. And again, that's something to keep in mind if you do have any travel plans over any of those mountain passes, especially. They're going to be impacted. And a heads up for ITD crews. Of course, you're going to be busy. I know that, and any wind that we get won't help things, that's for sure. Here's kind of another way to look at some of those impacted mountain passes. Again, around Galena to Galena Summit, probably looking at about a foot, maybe 1.5 foot of snow in a few spots. And again, Stanley, anywhere from basically 7 to 12 inches of snow. And then looking at kind of the other side, if you go a little bit off to the east here, if you go from the Swan Valley over Pine Creek Pass over to the Idaho-Wyoming state line, you're looking at anywhere from basically 3 to 6 in Swan Valley to closer to about 1 foot on Pine Creek Pass. And then again, those snow totals keep going up, especially as you head over Teton Pass. So that's likely to see some impacts as we go through today and tomorrow. As we get into the weekend here, temperatures, again, not really cooling off any. With these atmospheric rivers coming in from the Pacific, they're not necessarily the coldest systems for us. Certainly some of the wettest with, the system today into tomorrow. Many of us probably seeing easily about a quarter to a half an inch of QPF down here in the valleys, and even higher amounts, of course, up in the mountains. And pretty much the same thing as we go into the weekend. Wouldn't be surprised for a lot of us to see about a half an inch of QPF out of some of this. More so rain than snow even at times. Again, since these temperatures are going to be running into the mid-40s in some spots in parts of the eastern Magic Valley, even pushing closer to 40 degrees in Idaho Falls on Saturday afternoon. Still breezy again there too, but check out as we get into Sunday, those winds are really going to start to pick up. Probably see some gusts around 40-45 miles per hour, so we'll kind of see how that lines up with some of the snow. Again, I would expect to probably see some products out through a good portion of the weekend too. Temperatures warming up though, still as we look through parts of the eastern Magic Valley and lower Snake River playing there, mid-40s to nearly 50 degrees once again. So again, this part, not the cold part of the system. As we kind of get into next week, we'll cool things down a little bit, but still temperatures by that point, when we cool down, that puts us closer to average for this time of the year. Here's kind of a first look at weekend snowfall totals. Again, it's Thursday morning. We're talking about Saturday into Sunday time frame. These totals are going to change. But still looking anywhere from basically 6 to 8 inches of snow near Stanley and Island Park. Closer to 3 to 4 inches, Driggs. Again, we may see a little bit more rain than snow down here in the valleys just because of those warmer temperatures. But plenty of snow up on those mountain passes and up on the mountains themselves. So that's kind of a look at our weather for the next several days here. I know it's going to be busy for a lot of us. Make sure you stay safe if you have any of those travel plans. Give those crews plenty of space out there on the road so they can get their jobs done too. And appreciate y'all tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always find us on social media. Give us a phone call, send us an email, and catch the latest weather information online at weather.gov/Pocatello. Have a great day.